Hello dear students. Today we'll begin with a new chapter. The chapter is biodiversity and conservation. Biodiversity is a word which comprises of all the living organisms on this earth. So we will study what is biodiversity, at what different level we study biodiversity, and what are the reasons for its conservation. So let's begin with the chapter. So let's begin the chapter with the term biodiversity. The term biodiversity was introduced by an American biologist, Edward Wilson. According to him, biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms and habitats found in a defined area. It represents the totality of genes, species and ecosystem of a given region. So this biodiversity we will study at these different levels. So the levels of biodiversity at the hierarchical level can be genetic diversity, species diversity and ecological diversity. Let us begin with genetic diversity. The genetic variation existing within a species is called the genetic diversity. The variations may be in the form of alleles, it may be the total genes or chromosome structures. These different variations at that particular genus is called as genetic diversity. Let us see some examples. For example, in Mycoplasma, the genetic diversity calculated is around 450 to 700. Likewise, in Escherichia coli bacteria, the genetic diversity may be up to 4000. In Drosophila melanogaster, fruit fly, the genetic diversity may be 13,000. Likewise, in Oryza sativa, that is rice, the genetic diversity is around 32,000 to 50,000. And in Homo sapiens, the genetic diversity is about 35,000 to 45,000. So this is the first level of diversity. The second level of biodiversity is at species level. The diversity at the species level is called as species diversity. Examples: the Western Ghats. If you compare the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, the Western Ghats have a greater amphibian species diversity than Eastern Ghats. This is one example of species diversity. So we can say that the species diversity depends upon the number and richness of the species of a region. This is called as species richness, which we will study later on, which is the number of species per unit area. Now, let's study the ecological diversity. The diversity at the ecosystem level is called as the ecological diversity. For example, deserts, rainforest, mangroves, coral reefs, wetland, estuaries, alpine meadows, they are different level of ecological diversity. You can see these are different ecological diversities. Now, after these different levels of diversity, let us study some interesting facts about the diversity. According to IUCN, International Union of Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, of 2004 report, the total number of plants and animal species is more than 1.5 million. This is the vastness of biodiversity. Similarly, Robert May, one ecologist, estimated that the global species diversity is about 7 million. Third fact, more than 70% of all the species recorded are animals, and plants including algae, fungi, bryophyte, gymnosperms, angiosperm, all these things are only 22%. You can see that animals are 70%, whereas all other plants, bryophytes, are only 22%. What is the main reason? Because in animals, there are more variations, there are more adaptations. Now, among animals also, the insects are making up more than 70% of the total. Or you can say, out of every 10 animals on this planet, 7 are insects. So this is the variation. Animals are very large in number. Among animals also, insects show more biodiversity, richness. The number of fungal species in the world is more than the combined species of total species of fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals. These are some observations. And now, India has only 2.4% of world's land area. But when we talk about the biodiversity, its contribution is about 8.1% of the global species diversity. So we can say that India is one of the 12 mega diversity countries of the world. Now these are few diagrams which are given in your book also. They are very important from exam point of view because many questions are asked, diagram based question may be given in this form. So these are different pie charts showing species richness, biodiversity contribution. For example, if we talk about invertebrates, out of total invertebrates, the maximum are insects, followed by mollusks, it is crustacean, and the rest is all other invertebrates. Likewise, in vertebrates, 50% vertebrates are only fishes, and then rest are amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals. Now likewise in plants also, majority are fungi and angiosperms, and then rest are algae, mosses, ferns, lichens like this. So we can say that the pattern of biodiversity is not uniform throughout the world, but shows uneven distribution. And biodiversity is generally affected by two main factors. What are they? Number one, latitudinal gradient is first factor. Second is species area relationship. Let's first focus on latitudinal gradient. The latitudinal gradient, in general, species diversity decreases as we move away from the equator towards the pole. So that is latitudinal gradient. Few exceptions are tropics. The latitudinal range of 23.5 north and 23.5 south harbor more species than the temperate or polar areas. Likewise, Colombia, located near the equator, has nearly 1400 species of bird, while New York, which is at 41 degree north, has only 105 species, and Greenland at 71 degree north has only 56 species. So maximum biodiversity is at the equator. Now India, with much of its land area in the tropical latitude, has more than 1200 species of birds. This is the example of latitudinal gradient. So you can see the maximum biodiversity is in the tropical region like Amazon rainforest. Now Amazon rainforest, the largely tropical Amazonian rainforest in South America, has the greatest biodiversity on earth. It is home to more than 40,000 species of plants, 3,000 species of fishes, 1,300 species of birds, 427 species of mammals, 427 species of amphibians, 378 species of reptiles, and more than 125,000 species of invertebrates. This is the extent of latitudinal gradient. So because of that, the equator has got the maximum richness of species. So let us us find out the reason why there is so much of richness of species at the equator. So greater biological diversity in tropics is because of many reasons. Various hypotheses for higher diversity in the tropics proposed by ecologists and evolutionary biologists are: number one, temperate regions have undergone frequent glaciations in the past. It killed most of the species, whereas in tropical latitudes they have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years because there were no glaciations. First reason. Second, tropical environments are less seasonal, which promote niche specialization and lead to greater species diversity. And third, more solar energy is available in the tropics, which contributes to the higher productivity and in turn might contribute indirectly to greater diversity. So these are the reasons which are mainly responsible for greater species richness in the. Now the next factor which affects the pattern of biodiversity richness is the species area relationship. Alexander von Humboldt, who was a German biologist, he observed that within a region, species richness increased with increasing explored area, but only up to a limit. And the relation between the species richness and the area for a wide range of taxa was observed to be a rectangular hyperbola. So let's study this with the help of the graph. So this is a graph showing the species richness, species area relationship. If we plot the area and species richness, we see that with the increase in the area, initially there is increase in the species richness, and ultimately there is the stability. So we can say on a logarithmic scale, the relationship is a straight line described by the equation log S is equal to log C plus Z log A, where S stands for species richness, A stands for area, and Z is the slope of line or the regression coefficient, and C is y-intercept. So this diagram, this is very important. So the equation becomes S is equal to C A raised to the power Z, and in the logarithmic scale it becomes log C plus Z log A. Okay, so this is important. You must practice it. So with this today, we have studied about the species richness. We have studied about the pattern of biodiversity range, and in the next class we will study about the how there is biodegradation of the biodiversity, fragmentation of biodiversity. I hope you have understood today's lecture well. Thank you very much.